Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a pretty terrifying new era in data security, an era where the breaches are bigger and the stakes, well, they're higher than ever before. We're talking about numbers so huge they are genuinely hard to wrap your head around, affecting corporations, entire countries, and, yep, probably you too.
So let's kick things off with a question that really gets to the core of what's happening. If you wanted to get your hands on the private financial data of some of the wealthiest people in a country, what do you think that would cost? $1 million, maybe 100,000? Yeah, you're probably thinking way too high. The answer is $300. Seriously, that's it.
And look, this isn't some made-up scenario. Just recently, a hacker put a list of HSBC Taiwan's richest customers up for sale on the dark web for just $300. We're talking their names, their emails, their phone numbers, and, get this, exactly how much cash they had to invest. Okay, so let's unpack this, because that shockingly small price tag, it's really just the tip of the iceberg. It's the entry point to a much, much bigger story about how our data is being stolen and sold at a scale we have literally never seen before. All right, first up, let's break down two massive and very recent financial breaches. They reveal two totally different and equally dangerous strategies that hackers are using right now. And this really lays out the two polar opposite approaches, right? On one side, you've got the HSBC breach. That's a low-price, high-volume sale designed to arm as many criminals as possible, as quickly as possible. And on the other side, the Bybit heist, a single massive score aiming for a record-breaking payday. So the HSBC case, pulled off by a hacker who goes by Dayu, it shows this terrifying new business model. The data isn't just stolen for a one-time deal. Oh no. It's packaged up like a product. That super low price tag, it's basically a marketing tool to prove the data is real and get it into the hands of countless scammers, creating this absolute nightmare of endless targeted fraud for every single person on that list. And then you have the complete opposite end of the spectrum, the biggest crypto heist in history, which targeted the exchange Bybit. And the price tag on this one? An absolutely staggering $1.5 billion. Now, this was no simple smash and grab. It was an incredibly sophisticated, multi-stage attack. The hackers, who are suspected to be the notorious Lazarus Group, didn't just crack a password. They broke into the most secure form of storage there is, a cold wallet, and then cleverly tricked employees into actually signing off on the theft. But as huge as this was, believe it or not, the numbers are about to get even crazier. Okay, so we've seen corporate heists. Now let's zoom out, way out, to a national-level disaster. This is a story about when the very system designed to watch everyone completely failed to watch itself. So get this, a security researcher, a guy named Bob Diachenko, just stumbles upon this gigantic 631-gigabyte database, just sitting out there online, totally exposed, no password needed. And inside, it was a treasure trove of the most sensitive information you can imagine on hundreds of millions of Chinese citizens. So what was inside? Basically, the digital DNA of an entire nation, starting with over 805 million WeChat profiles, then 780 million home addresses. And on top of that, 630 million bank records, complete with credit card numbers. And if all that wasn't enough, over 300 million detailed transaction records from Alipay. I mean, just a truly mind-boggling scale of exposure. So here's the crazy irony, right? The very tool that was designed for total surveillance became a weapon that could be turned against the entire population. By putting all that data in one basket, they created a single catastrophic point of failure. And the worst part? The victims have no idea. They have no way of even knowing their entire digital lives are now out in the open. And now, we're going to pull back one last time for the widest view yet. We're moving beyond corporations, beyond even national borders, to a breach that potentially affects every single one of us. 16 billion. That's how many user credentials, logins and passwords, were just found circulating online in one single massive collection. And yeah, it affects pretty much everything: Apple, Google, Facebook, Telegram, you name it. Now here's the really important part. This data wasn't stolen from Apple's or Google's servers. No, it was siphoned directly from our computers, from individuals, using this nasty piece of software called info-stealing malware.
It doesn't just grab your password, it grabs the keys to your entire digital kingdom, your active login sessions, your security tokens, basically everything needed to just become you online. And this is why this stuff is so incredibly dangerous. This isn't just some old, recycled list of passwords from a decade ago. This data is fresh, it's highly organized, and it is, quote, combat ready. A hacker with this file doesn't need to try and hack into your bank account. They can just log in as you, instantly, bypassing a lot of the security measures we rely on.
Just look at how fast this is escalating. A few years back, a breach of millions of records was a huge headline. Now, breaches that are measured in the tens of billions, they're not shocking anomalies anymore. They're the terrifying new normal.
Okay, so after all of that apocalyptic news, it is so easy to feel completely helpless. I get it, but you're not. The research actually points to a pretty clear, multi-layered defense plan where every single one of us has a role to play. So what can we actually do? Well, the key takeaway here is that security is a team sport. It's a shared responsibility. For you and me, for individuals, it starts with basic digital hygiene. Things we can all do right now, like using unique, strong passwords. And please, enable multi-factor authentication on every single account. For companies, it's on them to build better walls, encrypt our data, and use AI to spot threats before they blow up. And finally, for regulators, it's about creating real consequences, enforcing mandatory breach notifications and levying massive fines for negligence, making sure our data is actually protected by law.
And really, that's the big question this all leaves us with. In a world where our digital and physical lives are basically one and the same, our defense might depend less on the next piece of software we buy and a whole lot more on the vigilance, the awareness, and the habits we build and practice every single day.